Everything that rocks it is Z97.5. Samantha and I being joined by a very special guest right now. The man, the myth, the legend, Reno Collier.
It is.
How?
Hey, Samantha. I had the wrong number. I called the office, I think.
That's what, yeah, and the receptionist comes back and he's like, what's the phone number back here? I was like, seriously? Like, isn't it your job to hand out the request line numbers when people call the office number? But whatever. It's all I can do to keep track of myself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
It's kind of an honor to have you because I know we've heard your voice on this station before via the Bob and Tom show. I know you're a regular on there. And you've got some pretty special local ties. I didn't realize this because you live in Murfreesboro. Is that right?
I do. And oddly, you guys are right by the 101st Airborne, right?
Yes. This Clarksville is the home of the 101st Airborne Screaming Eagles. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, I did like 75 shows in Iraq.
Wow.
And Africa and Kuwait and all that stuff. And they, with the 101st Airborne, was there for a bunch of them.
Yes. I think we were like the first ones to get shipped out and the last ones to come home, I think.
You are. You absolutely are.
It's a pretty epic history with the 101st Airborne. And for you as well, because you said you've done all of these tours for the USO and overseas. And now you're going to be performing here on the 12th, which is just about a week and a half or so away, a Saturday the 12th, at the American Legion Post 233 in Oak Grove. So you're going to be right up the road. You're going to be there with veterans from the 101st. What are the odds you suppose you'll see some familiar faces for you?
You know what's crazy is I just did a show in Monticello, Illinois, and I got done, and the owner saw me.
Really?
He goes, dude, yeah. He goes, I saw you in Missoula.
Wow.
And I was like, what? And he's like, dude, he goes, you've lost, because I don't drink any. I used to drink a lot. And I was puffy. I looked like I got stung by bees. And he's
or
like,
a
you don't
puffer
look
fish,
like the same dude. Yeah. And he's like, you don't look like the same dude. I go, I'm, you know.
So sobriety treats you well.
Older. Yeah, that's right. And but yeah, it's amazing. I did a show. I was toured with Larry the Cable Guy for like 11 years.
Yes.
And we did a show, and there was like, it was in Raleigh, North Carolina. There's like 17,000 people, and this lady comes running down to the side, and she's like, "Do you remember me?" And I was, right before a show, like and I'm like, honey, hold on 1 second. Let me go do this, and I'll talk to you. So I go up on stage. I do this show, and she comes down, and she's like, I saw you in Crit.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm like, oh, my gosh. So I brought her backstage, and I was still boozing it up, and we sat back there drinking beers, laughing. And so I have a special heart. I work with a soldier's child. I'm the spokesman for it.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that, because I did see that on your bio. So tell me a little bit about this organization and how and why you got involved.
So there's a famous picture of a little boy getting a flag held to him. There's a soldier bending down, the little boy's crying. Mm-hmm. It was all over everywhere. Well, he's from Murfreesboro.
Oh.
And when that happened, it's been, 15 years ago, and my buddy saw it and was like, I'm not getting arrested.
I was going to say, I hear sirens in the background. Do we need...
Yeah, I've got like 11 people in my house right now, and 6 of them are ready to. They have Halloween costumes on and they're ready to bust.
Okay.
What we do is that little boy was from here, so my buddy Daryl Mackin was like, what's going to happen to this kid?
Right.
Like after, so we started it for one. I say we. He started it for one kid, and then a couple years later, I hopped on, and a couple other people, and then now we have over 5,000.
Oh, wow.
What we do is in honor of anyone who's lost a parent in the military, whether it be after they come home or overseas, mm-hmm. we put on a birthday party for them in honor of their parent through their 18th birthday. But the thing that's what it all started with, but what's turned out to be so cool is we have these summer camps, and the kids that started out in going to the camps are now becoming counselors.
Oh, wow.
Because it's been so long. So these kids, they go to school and they're sitting there and they look around and there's no one for them no one knows what they're going through. Right. So we just try to build an environment where they stay in touch with each other. We had a songwriting camp where we got Nashville songwriters to come.
Oh, how fun.
And the kids, wrote songs about kind of how they're feeling. And then I host a celebrity golf tournament every year that we just had. I'm prouder of that than anything I've ever done. It's really a solid, it's a soldier's child soldierschild.org if you know anybody who could use us. And you can go on the website at soldierschild.org, and it'll tell you all about what we're doing.
That's a really great thing, because a lot of people, when this kind of stuff happens, a lot of people don't think of the children. You're thinking of the spouse or whatever else, but especially the younger kids, they're so impressionable and they need that stability in their life. And to have something so tragic and horrific happen, and having a parent ripped away from them like that, it's got to be a really hard time growing up.
Yeah, and you can see it, but man, these kids are resilient. The strength in a military family. This isn't going to help me sell any tickets, but I don't care. It's more important. The strength of these families, after what they go through, and it's like anything else. I mean, if you can give someone who understands what they're going through, which isn't me. I mean, my parents were in the military. My dad was in the military, but I didn't have to go through that. But when you watch these people go through these things, and these families and wives and husbands and kids and moms and dads, and it's really, it lifts me up.
Right.
It makes me feel better, and it really gives you, it's humbling. It's like doing USO tours.
Sure.
People get, I get more out of it than anyone does watching me jack around on stage, and you know what I mean? Like, it really puts you in a place in your mind and your heart where you go, man, when you watch the news, you think no one's doing anything.
Right.
And there are people out there who are serving our country and who deserve to be taken care of and deserve to be loved. And the families sacrifice too. The soldiers obviously do.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff that people, let's go to war, and it's over, and they've moved on to the next news cycle, and it's like, wait a minute.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff going on here that you guys aren't paying attention to. So,
I want to back up on your career here, though, because this is something I find fascinating, because you're supposed to be the funny guy, and this is something very, very serious and very cool to be involved in.
Let me tell you about Jesus too. Look here, I'd like to convert you before I get off.
But you were molding young minds before, and this is I've got a morbid curiosity here, because you were molding young minds before. You were a PE teacher. How do you go from being a PE teacher to a comedian full time?
I wasn't a good one. When I first got out of school, I moved to Atlanta, and I wanted to be a comedian, kind of. What I did was, my mom was like, honey, look, you get fired from a lot of jobs.
Oh, no.
You kind of don't listen. She goes, I want you to find your favorite thing in the world and figure out a way to make money at it, because I really think that's the only way you're going to be successful.
Wow.
And at the time, I was like, all right, I like drinking beer and telling jokes to my friends. That's what I'm going to do. How do you do that? Well, that's being a stand-up comedian.
What did Mom say to that?
That's not what I meant, jackass. She's like, I meant like a job.
Something stable.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, you said it. Here we go. It's like I'm 9. And so I got a job at a comedy club in Atlanta, and I did everything, right? Like, I'd work in the kitchen, I worked the door, I bartended, I did the phone, I did everything. And it was all like really hot waitresses that worked there.
Oh, no.
So inevitably, the women's bathroom would, like, the toilet. Oh,
of course. Women are nasty.
Somebody's got to clean it. Yeah. and these girls are like, I'm not cleaning that up. And I'm like, I will for 7 minutes of stage time on Wednesday. And they're like, no, we're not sitting through that again. Wait. And then finally they're like, well, someone's got to clean it. Okay, Reno, fine. You can go up Wednesday. So I'm in there mopping up the bathroom like, knock, knock. Who's there? Let's see. I'm going to write jokes. So I just traded out for stage time.
I'll tell you what, if you still feel like plunging toilets, the same thing happens here with the women's room. At least once a week, I have to do that, and I'm trying to understand. I thought I worked in a building full of adults, but apparently not.
I'm just in Murfreesboro. Give me a shout if you need me. I'm right down the street.
We'll cut you a new special. You can come here and plunge toilets, and we'll record it, and we'll get you a new special to go. I know it won't match up quite as well to, like, the blue-collar comedy guys and your time with Larry, which is great because, Larry's a Nebraska native, and I'm a Nebraska native, so I've got a soft spot in my heart for that man. But you have toured with some legendary people. What has it been like for you? I mean, doing that 7 minutes on a Wednesday after cleaning up a bathroom in a comedy club to get into where you are now, how, I guess, tumultuous of a journey has that been for you?
Oh, man, it's so weird because I'm not one of those people that, like, looks to the future and goes, well, at 50, my wife was like, when are you going to retire? I'm like, you don't retire from this. You get retired.
Right.
When people stop coming coming to see you. But I think that the ride of it is so bizarre. Looking back at it, like I always thought, here's what, I mean, I don't know why I'm supposed to be selling comedy tickets, but it was weird. Like as I got TV shows and stuff, and like I had a show on NBC and I had hosted this extreme fishing show on Animal Planet called Top Hooker, which, I know. I'm like, why don't you call it Master Baiter? Anyway, so the whole, all of that stuff, the ups and downs, and then after all that, like at the peak, I went through a divorce, and you're kind of all over the place.
Right.
But the more successful I got, the more empty I felt.
Really?
Like I did, yeah, because I put so much into thinking that was going to make me happy, and I got there, and I was like, well, this sucks.
But
like,
you had to have had endless amounts of material.
Yeah, you do, but it gets different. Like the best thing that happened to me as far as rewriting material and stuff like that was this COVID garbage, right? Because when it happened, my whole tour got canceled. Right. So I went back and I was filming a thing for a construction show, and COVID hit, and my buddy owned a company, and I was going crazy in my house. Like I cannot just sit in here dressed up as a dental hygienist, acting like I'm losing it. So I went out and worked with him. And when you notice comedians, they always talk about I was in the hotel, and because that's all you do, right? But once you get back out, and it invigorated me. Right. It made me, and I loved every bit of it. I grew up around, my grandfather was a contractor, and my mom worked in real estate and construction and new homes, residential stuff. So I knew how to do it, but just not doing stand-up for a while and taking a break and reevaluating everything and being like, there's more important stuff in this world than just my jokes. Right. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff. So it opened up my mind to like talking about things that weren't just me drilling a 12-pack and, I farted on an airplane. I dug in a little bit, like a little soul searching and a little, looking around and paying attention to what's going on. And it doesn't make everybody happy.
Well, I mean, and it's an interesting perspective, too, because, everybody went through, we were all in the lockdown. We all went through the same thing, but it was different for everybody where, you're in your house, you can't go anywhere. You're going through a divorce. You're going through all of these things. You've got, the material is just going to pour out when it's time. And then, on our end, when you work in radio, you go down with the ship. You go to work every day. there was no missing out on anything,
Yeah, it's really it was such a weird thing. My divorce was over. I'm remarried, and it's funny because I don't drink, and my wife still does, and we're pinned up in that condo. Oof. And that's why I was like, I got to get out of here because it's 3:00 in the afternoon. She has 3 glasses of wine. She's running around the house. I'm a bird.
Oh, no.
Shut up. You're not a bird. Nobody's a bird. So I was like, I'm getting my tools and I'm going to work. But yeah, it is. It's a weird time we live in, and it kind of helps you to reevaluate everything. And I just shot a special that's going to be coming out on Hitcore, which is a streaming live concert thing. It's really cool. Okay. I just shot it 2 days ago. It was one of those things where when I was doing it and I got done, I remember my Comedy Central specials and the blue collar stuff and all that, and thinking about the material I did and looking at it now, and it's like, God, I'm 51. Did I actually kind of grow up a little bit? Like I'm becoming like this.
People are listening. Don't say that.
And like when I do Bob and Tom stuff, it all used to be drinking stuff, and now I do like these country fried takes and these other things, and I'm almost turning into that get off my yard guy.
Right. I'm right there with you.
What I mean? Like, these damn kids are sissy, stupid. We're doomed. These little peckerheads are never going to do anything. Right. Did
you ever have a point, you got the chance through COVID to kind of, I'm sure all comedians have roughly the same things to talk about because everybody was in lockdown. And I've watched a lot of specials on Netflix and all that stuff over the course of, the last several months. And that's been a staple to everyone's routine. But getting back out there, did you find it difficult? Was it nerve wracking at all? Or was it just like, oh my God, thank God I'm out and I can get back on stage again and do what it is I love to do. Even though, you were able to keep your sanity by building stuff, hammering as it were, just a different kind of hammering for you. Was it cathartic for you to finally be like, okay, yes, this is what I was born to do. Now I'm out here doing it again. Or were you worried it wouldn't take off?
No, that's it. I came out like a caged lion. Like I was just like, I got to get on stage. I got to get on stage. I got to get on stage to unload this stuff. And I was careful not to write COVID material, like, a bunch of masks are weird,
Right.
It was kind of weird seeing. I didn't write that.
Good.
I wrote more on what I was reflecting on. Yeah. I mean, because I knew, that's that hacky stuff where, it just I knew everybody was just going to flood it with that stuff.
It was easy.
So I went more introspective, if that's the right word.
Yeah. So now we're back out, and you're going to be here on the 12th at the American Legion Post 233 in Oak Grove. I know a lot of the crew up there. Great bunch of human beings. So I'm hoping it's going to be a great show for you. We're going to do some ticket giveaways, but where do we buy tickets? Do we buy them at the door, or is there a website we buy tickets from?
You can get them at RenoCollierComedy.com.
Okay.
And there's also Mad Hatter Shows has them for sale. You can get them there, but I don't know if it's going to sell out or not. To be honest with you, I just landed 10 hours ago from California, so I don't even. I'm not kidding you.
How's that jet lag treating you?
I'm standing outside. God, when I left there, I was like, thank God I don't live out here anymore. The people I work with are so nice, but there's still people out there with masks over their eyes.
Well, you'll still see a few of those here. Just walk into the Walmart across the street from the Legion. You'll find them.
Yeah, but they're not wearing it for COVID.
Sure they are. Oh, yes, they are.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah. There's still a handful around here. And, of course, those are the same ones that are in their car behind the wheel alone. And,
driving it.
Yeah. There's still a handful.
I was in Michigan during all this, doing shows in Detroit. There was a guy on a motorcycle with no helmet and a mask on.
Oh, no. I saw one with a mask and a full-face helmet.
But he didn't cover his head.
Right.
But he had a mask on. It's I'm not worried about leaving my brains all over the street, but if I get a cough.
Right, exactly. When you're out in the fresh air. Well,
I can take eating pudding out of a straw, but what I can't deal with is the sniffles.
That's right.
He
just wanted something to have, to catch the snot from the wind blowing in his face.
Or the bugs going in his mouth.
That too. Yeah. That too. Those are a pain in the ass to get out of your teeth. I tell you what.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. All right, Rena, it has been such a pleasure. You said you just landed.
Do the interview?
No, we're going with everything right now. It's that was it. This is we just went from being a comedic interview to a Barbara Walters special.
You know what? Hey, I promise you guys, I am funny.
You are funny. And again, there's a lot of people that hear you on the Bob and Tom Show every morning here on Z97.5. So we appreciate you being on there. And we're going to do the ticket giveaways. We'll get a link posted to our social media to link to your website so they can buy tickets as well. Do we know what time the show starts? I know that it's on the 12th, but I don't know what time it starts.
I think it's 7 or 7:30. I don't know. I have no idea. It's Snittin'.
Okay.
It starts at Snittin' or Snittin':30.
Well, we'll call it
45.
7. You can show up early, and those that do partake of the adult beverages can grab some of those early and talk with some of the awesome people there. And we will see you on Saturday the 12th. It sounds like since you landed 10 hours ago, you have not slept yet, so it's probably time for a nap.
I kid you not. There are so many people in my house right now that my stepson and he and his family are moving.
Oh no!
And they had to paint the inside of their house. They have 4 kids, and they're all inside.
Oh Lord!
And I love them. I love them so much. 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 I love them.
Yes, get those daily affirmations. Just think, in a few hours the sun will go down, and they'll be out trick or treating, and we'll all be good.
I made the mistake. They were because I'm their step grandpa. They're what do we call him? And I'm I don't care. Call me Pawpaw Ding Dong. Who cares? Well, that stuck.
Oh, no.
Which was the dumbest thing I've ever said, because now there's kids, and when they're all together, there's 8 of them. And all you hear is Pawpaw Ding Dong, Pawpaw Ding Dong, Pawpaw. And if you go to Kroger's and they're with me, I'm you guys shut up. Stop saying that. These people watch Dateline. That doesn't sound right. I was kidding at the house.
Waiting for Chris Hansen to pop out.
Yeah. What's in your pocket? You have jelly beans and wait, what?
No, I got ding dongs in my pocket. That's why they call me Papa Ding Dong.
They call me Papa Ding Dong, and that's even worse. It's oh God, I'm sorry, Chris Hansen.
Oh, too fun. Well, don't be surprised if you hear Papa Ding Dong shout it out on Saturday the 12th. That I can't say it will be me or somebody else, but someone's going to be yelling it out for sure, just to see if you're on your toes.
Bring it, Samantha.
All
I'm
right.
ready. You're coming,
will.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely. I appreciate your time. Get yourself a nap. Do not strangle the kids.
I won't. I promise. And thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure.
I'll see you soon, Samantha.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet.